I build awareness around my brand or business? How do I reach my target audience? Marketing has just gotten too expensive and too complicated to cut through the noise. These are real quotes we gathered when doing market research for ConnectU. Marketing has become expensive, complicated, and difficult to reach your target audience through the traditional methods. Brands are looking for a new approach to solve their marketing problems. And influencer marketing is on the rise. It could be the answer. An influencer is someone who has the power to affect the purchasing decisions of others. And over 80% of marketers say that influencer marketing does help drive awareness and reach new parts of your target audience. Well, you might be asking, why doesn't everyone already use influencer marketing? That's a great question, thank you. It's because it's expensive. But there's an underutilized group of influencers, college students, who each possess their own NIL or name, image, and likeness, which is a buzzword we've heard a lot recently with college athletes. And it refers to being able to monetize your social media reach or your name, image, and likeness. But that doesn't have to end with just college athletes. More college students have this available to them. With their social media they've been cultivating over the years, where they've built up their own personal brands, which gives them influence over different social spheres and social circles across the country. So what exactly is a college influencer? It's someone with 1,000 to 10,000 followers, and over 9 million students currently fall into this category. That's an army of students ready to help these business owners solve those marketing issues we spoke about. But unfortunately, there are currently very few ways for students to benefit from their existing social media reach and connect with these businesses. Besides brand ambassadorships, which are mostly big companies, unless you're a big athlete or already a mega influencer on your own, but again, those working with athletes or mega influencers is expensive to the businesses. And I can speak to this personally, not having a platform, because I was an influencer, and this is what led to us creating ConnectU. I worked with PepsiCo as a brand ambassador, where it was great and I enjoyed the work, but I was locked in with only being able to work with Pepsi, and I was capped on how much I could make every month. But this doesn't have to be the fate for future influencers, because ConnectU is here to be a marketplace for brands to authentically reach their target market and for students to be able to monetize their existing social media reach.
And so ConnectU is an influencer marketplace where brands can connect with college influencers, reach their target market, and build authentic awareness around their brand. It's also a brand deal marketplace where college influencers can discover brand deals, work with brands they actually know and care about, and finally be able to turn their influence into income. And this is all consolidated in one place. The scheduling, creation of contracts, the payment, the discovery of brands or influencers, all facilitated through ConnectU's app. And so why is something like ConnectU important now? Well, we're seeing a rise in influencer marketing, as 75% of brands are projected by 2025 to have allocated marketing budgets for influencer marketing. This isn't just a marketing budget, this is a portion of their marketing budget specifically allocated towards influencers because they are so effective. There's also untapped market potential, as there's no other way right now for brands to reach out to college influencers. Manual outreach is tedious, and it's just not a safe process or controlled process for the brand or the influencer. And if we look at consumer behavior trends, Gen Z no longer falls for the traditional advertising traps of the past. They gravitate towards those authentic and genuine connections from people they know and from people they trust. And so why is it important for brands to want to market to college students in the first place? There's 21 million college students that possess a purchasing power of over $76 billion. College students spend a lot of money, and they don't really have a lot of responsibilities during that period in their lives. And college influencing works because 88% of people trust recommendations from people they know. We've seen 800% higher engagement rates when we compare our college influencers to celebrity influencers, and 76% of Gen Z say they have once been influenced by a social media influencer. And so let's actually talk about how the app ConnectU works. Well, for businesses, it works in 3 simple steps. First, a business will create a listing. This will be the brand deal that the influencers will apply for. Next, the business will scroll through their applicants, find a college influencer that's going to fit their branding needs, and extend them an offer. And lastly, the business will review that user-submitted content to ensure that that post is going to be effective and that it meets their branding needs.
Hey, so let's talk revenue. We are currently pre-revenue, but we have a couple ways that we're going to plan to monetize ConnectU. So bread and butter, the big number is going to be 20% off every brand deal. That's 10% off the listing for the business and 10% off the creator. That's going to be the main source of revenue. It's a growth play for us, so the more growth we get, the more revenue we can create. We have some other ways we're considering monetization as well, some smaller ones such as featured posts, a premium subscription model, and then in-app credits for influencers. The next thing we can talk about is the market size, and I think we're in a great market. We're currently focused on the nano influencer industry, and we project to be about $3.6 billion. The next one down the SAM is the value of college students who could be nano influencers. We say that's about 540 million. That's based on the 9 million student number earlier. And lastly, we say 20% of the market share ConnectU can grab $108 million. And that's because no other platform focuses on college students like we do. Just a great statistic, the influencer marketing industry overall, that's a $24 billion industry in 2024. That is currently growing at a 9% year over year. It's projected to hit $56 billion in 2029. Just 5 years ago in 2019, it was worth $6 billion. That's over a 300% increase. Next we can talk about is the competitive landscape. Here are just a few of the other companies that are in our industry. The first one I want to talk about is Opendoors. Now they are a marketplace like ConnectU, but they only do college athletes. They do not do college students or people wanting to be influencers. The next one's SocialCat. Now that is a platform that goes after nano influencers, but they want established nano influencers. They don't want people that want to be an influencer. And the last one is Hummingbirds. That one is a startup. They connect local brands to local influencers, but there's an emphasis on local for them. They only do big cities, they only do brick and mortar stores or local brands, and they don't do college students. That brings me back to my point that no other platform focuses on college students like ConnectU does. When college students want to be influencers, we want them to think ConnectU. So here's our roadmap. We call it the road to e-commerce. We're currently in our beta launch, about to end it. And then over the winter break in the next couple of months, we want to grow the base of influencers at Ole Miss and Alabama, 2 very big college towns near Starkville, Mississippi. Phase 3, we want to scale rapidly with e-commerce brands after growing that influencer base. Then we want to push the app to college students nationwide. And lastly, we would like to expand into also offering an NIL marketplace for college athletes. And thank you for letting me speak. My name is Alex Golan. I'm the Director of Business Development. I'm a marketing manager with over $1 million of digital ad spend that I've directly managed. I'm a franchise marketing coach for a 23-unit franchise system, and I have over 3 years of digital marketing and advertising experience.
Yeah, and I'm Dillon Scott. I am one of the co-founders of ConnectU. I graduated with my MBA in May, and I have influencer experience as a PepsiCo brand ambassador, and I also have some sales experience.
And I'm Jack Maloney, co-founder and director of technology with over 3 years of full stack software development experience. And this is the right team for something like ConnectU because we're an app for college students built by college students. And today we're asking for $300,000, where 45% will be allocated towards marketing and growth initiatives. We also have 40% allocated towards team expansion as we look to bring on more developers and start our brand ambassador program where we're looking to have people boots on the ground on college campuses as we expand. We have 5% for product development as we see some contract work ahead for development purposes. And then we have 10% allocated towards operating cost and server maintenance fees. And this was ConnectU, and we'd love to hear any questions you guys have.
Yes, sir.
So when you build a double-sided marketplace, there's the chicken or the egg question of which side you go after first. I noticed that you are deciding to target influencers. What research or what undergirds that decision, and what would you learn that might need to change your mind to shift that strategy?
Okay, so the question is, with the double-sided marketplace, how do we decide which side of the market to go after first between influencers and businesses? I'll pass that off to Alex.
Hey, thank you for your question. I appreciate it. For us, that is something that we've talked about much. Currently on our app with our beta, we had 152 users and 10 brands join the app during our beta. We've kind of saw that influencers is the way to go, because if you get a business on the app, and keep in mind that for businesses, there are multiple platforms that they can go to get influencers. They can't get college students, but they can get influencers. If we don't have volume on the app, they're going to download it, they're going to see it, and they're going to go somewhere else. So focusing on influencers is our main priority right now.
You were first in the Saints shirt.
So what, do you have a hook, do you have something that's gonna be sticky for your users on both sides to stick with ConnectU when, if you have success, obviously some of your competitors who are only doing sports or larger cities could shift and start doing what you're doing?
Yeah, so the question is, how do we retain users once we work with them, or once other companies may start coming into the space? I'll take this one. So we're planning to get influencers early in their influencing career. Those other platforms Alex showed us, they don't focus on helping those influencers become influencers or build up their influence, where with ConnectU, we're right now building an influencer training program so they can start with us, and then we're the company that they know and work with. We want to be, the first in the space for these college students, and then we want to be looked at as Coke and everybody else is Pepsi or Big K.
Yeah, can you run the slides back to that timeline, that straight line timeline that you had right there? I assume your app is currently working. Can you give us the timeline of these different phases? Have you already gone through phase 5, or where are you?
Okay, so the question is, what are the dates on our timeline, or how are we going to hit these milestones? I'll pass it off to Alex.
Currently, and we're just about to end our beta launch in phase 1. The next phase is going to be over the winter break, and over the next couple of months, we're building that base of influencers in Ole Miss and Alabama.
So the app is working?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
No revenue yet?
Yes, no revenue. It's growth because of our revenue model. We need growth on the platform to put that in play. Because if we just try to, throw it out nationwide, we try to get both people at the same time, the revenue model doesn't really work. We need a good scale of branding that we really have to be profitable.
One other thing on the team, who's the CEO?
So, right now, me and Dillon are the co-founders, and we're split same equity, so we kind of consider ourselves co-CEOs. We do kind of take a unique approach in the leadership, as we brought on Alex a couple months ago, but we like to have an equal say in making the decisions, and we kind of all stay in our own lanes. I'm the tech guy. Dillon is our marketer. He's our networking guy. He handles user acquisition. Alex, he's our other marketing guy with lots of experience working with franchises. He deals with the businesses, and then we come together for those decisions that really matter.
So how many influencers do you have a target for number of influencers at a certain time?
All right, so the question is, what's our target market, or what's our target for influencers at a certain point in time?
Yeah. There's a ratio, and the ratio is 5 to 1, I believe. We'd like 5 influencers for 1 brand on the app. We think that gives them enough amount of influencers to work with. Like, we don't want them to see like, oh, we have 2 choices, or oh, we have too many choices. It's like a Goldilocks situation. But 5 to 1 is what we would plan around.
So you have like an influencer day, you want to be an influencer? That's how you do it?
It depends. We've been using brand ambassadors, and that's going to be our next really big thing. Just like authentic influencing that ConnectU can provide businesses, ambassadors give that same type of feel on college campuses.
So do you crush people's dream and say you can't be an influencer?
No, it's anyone with over 1,000 followers can be an influencer. A good statistic is Aspire, to go back to the competitive landscape. Aspire is a big name in the influencer industry. They recently did a study that showed that 64% of brands that worked with influencers worked with an influencer that had under 60,000 followers. And that is far up from the past, so it's trending downwards from the data influencer side.
Thank you.
And one thing to add on to that, and while we want it to be accessible for more college students, it's still not for just anyone. There is a little bit of exclusivity because we want these brand deals to be effective. So that's why if someone has less than 1,000 followers, that brand deal is probably not going to be effective. That's the floor, and then it's up from there. And we had a question here.
So I'm curious to understand the success rate that you would anticipate on recruiting influencers and the graduation rate of those that you recruit to stay on your platform and grow. Some perspective there?
Okay, so the question is, how do we retain influencers after college? Is that what you're asking?
No, I'm more wanting to understand the graduation rate of your successfully acquiring influencers and then having them successfully engage the brand that you established, and the failure rate that you would anticipate from some of those 1,000 influencer types that to kind of continue on and to have impact at their company. So just broad thoughts around how do you see engaging those influencers and determining the ones that will be successful.
So as a brand, we are the marketplace that connects the brands to the influencers. As a brand, you get access to see stuff like your insights for an influencer to get an idea of if they're going to be effective or not in the first place. And that's, they're also able to showcase things that they've done in the past to show businesses how successful they may be. We have one girl that's done one brand deal. She's already, or after that first brand deal, she's made $300 in the past 2 weeks, and she's applied for every brand deal since. Once they get a taste of what a brand deal feels like, they go and they tell all their friends about it. And she's brought a ton of people to our platform just off of that one successful user.